Hey, what's up, everyone? Brad Chmielewski here with episode 175 of Shatter The Vain. This week, I have Maxman30 joining me, French streamer, caster, analyst, talking about the scene over in EU. We dive into some of the stuff about players getting banned on Hammer's esports, the leaving of T-Dog, the alternating current is gone. That other Vainglory podcast that I know you all listen to and support it. T-Dog has disappeared on us, so that's too bad. We talk about hopefully someone else coming in, stepping up, filling his place, and then we dive into some of the new skins and items that should be coming in update 2.9. Yeah, lots of fun stuff happening in the scene right now. Lots of esports growth. The game is moving forward. 5v5 seems to be on the horizon with all these items coming and heroes getting added. Really cool, exciting for Vainglory. Can't wait to see what this update does and brings to the game. I want to mention the Patreon page before we get into this episode. That's over at patreon.com/shatterthevain. If you can support the show in any way, that would be fantastic. We're 175 episodes in, one coming out every week. Hopefully you've been enjoying them all. And if you have any thoughts or opinions on the episodes, be sure to email me at shatterthevain@gmail.com. Love hearing all that stuff. But if you can't support on Patreon, just listening, leaving reviews, letting your friends know is just as effective. The Vainglory esports content creation scene, I know not a lot of people listen or watch YouTube videos, streams, podcasts, so let them know it's out there. Some of them don't even know they're there. Stuff is featured in-game from time, but those players don't often always click through, so let them know. If you have a friend that's playing the game, that there's a whole nother world. There's the esports, there's the YouTube videos, there's the streams and podcasts, and you can learn so much from each one of them. So yeah, let them know it's out there. All right, let's jump into episode 175.
Shatter the Vain.
This is the 175th episode of Shatter the Vain. My name is Brad Chmielewski, and this is a podcast all about Vainglory. Every week, try to break down the news, gameplay, game tips, and hopefully we can all become better players together. Every week, bringing on people from the community, people that love this game, people that support and play it. And this week, I'm joined by Maxman30. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for the invitation. How are you doing?
Great. It's great to have someone outside of the NA scene. So I usually very much focus on the NA scene, and so it's nice to branch out a little bit from that.
Yeah, and I think I might be the first French person going on your show. I'm not sure.
Possibly, yeah. I'd have to think about that, but probably.
Not sure.
Cool. How's it going? It's great to have you here. How's your weekend been going of Vainglory?
It's been awesome. Like, we got a tournament right now, and in the French community, so going over Europe, has been casting it, streaming it, and the community's been really responding to it pretty well.
That's cool.
No.
So yeah, you're talking about this tournament, but let's step back. Introduce yourself. Let people know who you are if they haven't seen you on Twitter or heard you casting or streaming.
Yeah, let's start by that. So I'm Maxman30. I'm a French streamer and YouTuber. So I'm really working in the French community, not only in NA and CA, Europe, a bit everywhere. Right. But I mainly do streaming and casting. And what I'm trying to focus on these last few days is casting, trying to maybe get into VGL or Tesseract. That's one of my main focus I'm working on. And also trying to get in the esports scene as analyst and manager, something like that. Not as a player because I'm not that good, but trying to help out some people who are has got a good level, and are trying to have that level of people trying to help them out and taking care of all the background stuff.
Oh, cool. Have you done much of the analyst stuff before, or is this kind of?
I had a few test runs. I did get into VG8 with old team Cyclone with Waldemar, Radha, Bash. There was then called Team Supremacy. It was there for like maybe 3 weeks, a month. A few problems happened in the background between the players, and that was a good experience. I'm trying to get back up there, maybe top VGL or VG8 maybe with a new esport team in Europe. So just trying to get things together and get a good team.
Cool. Do you like doing one over the other, the casting or the analyst? Like, do you have a preference? If someone was to give you both, would you pick one over the other?
If I had to pick one, I'd say casting, because when I cast, I have the time to profit of my weekend, and analyst, I have to watch all the VGA and the replays. But I do enjoy both. If I had to choose one, I'd say casting. I really enjoy that.
That's awesome. And then you're also streaming too, right? So that kind of, I guess, helps improve the casting, just like being able to talk and entertain the chat and inform what you're doing probably helps that.
Yeah, it does help out a lot, because if we step back like maybe a year ago when I wasn't that much into streaming anything, I would not have been able to say 2 words while casting. But it does help out a lot just for casting and be able to interact with the community. That's the main purpose for which I stream, is just to be able to interact, to talk with people who don't usually see. Like, I got many NA people coming over on the stream saying hi that I like totally enjoy, and maybe I had FlashX, Dowsy coming over,
nice.
Nivmet, some devs, and I really, really enjoy them coming over, and it's just awesome.
Nice. How often are you streaming then? Like, you would be during probably earlier my time, so it's probably by morning. So I don't usually check Twitch that early.
I try to stream like maybe 3-4 times a week.
Okay.
When there's tournaments, might be a little bit more. But for the moment, I don't got planning. I'm gonna planning up. It's just I'm trying to get my new setup and get a new PC, iPad. And once that comes in, I will have a setup. Like every Friday night, we're having a nocturnal stream for like 5-6 hours. That will be coming in the future. Yeah.
That's cool. Stepping back from Vainglory a little bit, how'd you get into this game? Like, were you playing other MOBAs, or did you just come across this and like fall in love?
I did used to play League of Legends with a group of friends, so I got introduced to MOBAs pretty early then.
Okay.
And after being a huge fan, so this is maybe something a little bit different than other people. I'm a huge fan of Justin Murray's art, because he already worked with different games before, going with Vainglory.
Okay. That's
and see him join like Super Evil Megacorp with also Tommy Crawl, that I love too. Getting together to do Super Evil Megacorp, I was introduced to the concept pretty early, and seeing after with the trailer going out for the iPhone 6, and once the beta finished, I just literally joined the game right away. I didn't get into like the community part of the game until like maybe 6 months, between 6 months and a year. So doing YouTube videos, streaming, event organizing, meetups and everything very late. But I did join just after the beta, so I'm old.
Yeah, I've been here just as long. So yeah, that's cool that you came from their artwork. I think you're the first person I've heard that knew of their stuff beforehand and that followed them into this game. So that's really cool. What other game? I know Justin worked on Mortal Kombat, but that's very new. What other games were you playing?
Injustice, God of War, you done, Justin Murray, and what other games I played?
Yeah. What other stuff were you playing before Vainglory? Just a little of everything.
CS:GO.
Okay.
Just a little CS:GO, yeah, and League of Legends.
So is this your main game now, or do you still dive into some of those other games?
100%. A little Overwatch sometimes when I keep losing 3-4 ranks in one night. But I do. Vainglory is my like 90% of all games I play right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess being in the EU, I can't avoid the question, like, how do you think these two scenes compare competitively? Like, you're casting and you're analyzing, so you're watching a lot of these games. How do you think they compare as someone who's on that side of it?
Like, you mean between EU casters and NA casters, or
I think
the
just
esports?
maybe more teams.
More teams.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I had to say, like, it's true. We have to say NA is better than EU. So be careful. But EU is still stepping up the game, getting some new players in all the time, and teams joining every time. Like, you got new people that's been joining, like Salty Potatoes. I got a good friend in Salty Potatoes. They got a really, really good level of play. And yeah, just the European scene is getting quickly up to pace with the NA meta and playstyle. So NA, be careful, we're coming for you.
Do you think that sometimes has a communication issue maybe with the players, because people are much more spread out and speaking different stuff, and the teams kind of can be all over sometimes? Does that add any problems, you think, for the players?
Communication is like the most important thing in a team. Like, that's why you have to have that level of like manager, people behind trying to like get to pace. Like Coach Scott Bayou that's doing an awesome job with SK Gaming, keeping the team together. Raf mustn't be the easiest person to work with. So, but yeah, just you need someone behind to actually help that out, because just on your own is not the easiest thing to keep together.
Yeah, cool. Well, that's awesome. We got a whole bunch of news to dive into, so we should just dive into that. It's been a pretty exciting week here for Vainglory.
Vainglory News.
To kick things off, we're talking a little esports. We'll continue talking a little esports here. I don't know if you followed this announcement from Super Evil Megacorp. What was it, 2 days ago, where they banned a couple NA players on Hammers Esports for sharing accounts. So this was starting all over, and Eliminate, they were, I don't know the backstory of how it all happened, but something about they was on stream and they were seeing these players. Evidence was presented, and Super Evil looked into it and decided that they were sharing accounts, which is against the terms of service, and they have now been banned from, I think, the game and from playing in the competitive scene for 14 days. And that's a long time in Vainglory Esports, because 14 days is half of the split. Like, they are not going to be playing for this. Did you follow this announcement at all, or did you know of these players?
I did know about the players, and I like followed the announcement of them getting banned, and I think it's fair, because it is written in the rules. So if you don't apply the rules, everyone will do it with no problem. So you must like restrict what players are doing, and that was a good decision.
Mm-hmm. I know there's a lot of backlash on Twitter just about the thoughts of, this is happening, like everyone's doing it, and Hammers Esports is being targeted. There's always that. When someone gets caught, there's a lot of like, oh, but everyone's doing it. There's always the thing, like, you'd be surprised if everyone is doing it, but no one's presenting this to Super Evil Megacorp. Then that's kind of weird, right? Same idea when you run into all these trolls in game, where you think, oh, well, this guy, why isn't he banned? And why isn't someone reported him? People just don't follow through on reporting. Like, you're like, I'll report this guy later, and it doesn't happen. So the players should think about that. If everyone's account sharing, take the time, report them, get people in trouble. Like, the scene needs to have this a level of professionalism to it.
Yeah, professionalism. That's very important in the esports scene, really.
Mm-hmm. I did hear some players talking about maybe this is a sign that we need an age restriction for the competitive scene. There are a lot of younger players who do play the game, and a lot of competitive players who are younger, and they often don't make the best decisions. Sometimes some of them are very, very mature and do make great decisions, but some of them don't, and it just comes from age. So do you think Vainglory needs to have a age restriction put into it for competitive scene?
I think like it could have. There's a good side and a bad side for that. The good side would be to like just expand the esports scene to everyone, so everyone can join in. But the problem is, if you got someone that's quite young and they like get in the top VGL, like it's already happened. Some pretty young players getting to the top VGL, having to go in different countries. They cannot always like confirm. They can go like to maybe European teams, maybe if they got a younger player, won't be able to go to the live championships that happened a few weeks ago.
Right.
And that's a real problem, and you can't go to the full extent of your team when you've got players that are underage and can't join you on live championships.
Yeah, I know that happened. Was it a lot with Leon, right?
Yeah,
he just
Leon
couldn't make it, and I'm sure Singapore here with the Worlds is another level where it's like I I can't let you go to Singapore by yourself with some people that you know from the internet.
Yeah, that's some problem. After parents can still join them, it's not always that easy.
So this was just a big thing on Twitter. There's the free starting hashtag. There's people on both sides of it, and I think it's good that Super Evil stepped this up. Hopefully they continue this. There's been a lot of stuff in esports lately about player behavior. I know Immortals had issues with I think it was their CSGO team, where they were out drunk and, they had issues, so they had people kicked. Like, it's just starting to be like, if we're going to take esports serious, the players have to take it serious too. So there's a growing up phase that seems to be happening right now.
Yeah, a lot of now the esport is getting really serious in every game, every platform. So yeah, players must take it seriously, just to because they don't represent only themselves now. They represent most of the time sponsors. If you're in this SK Gaming, you can't do and tweet out anything weird that might happen, or you have to stay very restricted and professional.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So on the Vainglory 8, this is week 2 that's happening right now. Is there a team in EU that you're rooting for right now? You think they have
Salty
a shot?
Potatoes.
Okay.
Salty Potatoes, yeah. But not because I got a friend in them. I do like their playstyle. I would go with Salty Potatoes, but I got 2 favorite teams, Salty Potatoes and Dynasty Gaming. They're my 2 top ones.
Okay. Ones to keep an eye on. Good to know. I usually watch the Vainglory 8 streams when I can in the Vainglory League, so I don't know all the players as well as I do the NA players. So yeah, it's always fun to see who's up and coming and what teams are doing well.
Yeah, NA is Cloud9. Gabe Vizzle.
Yeah, Gabe Vizzle. It's nuts how well he's playing lately. Oh, cool. So then moving on from esports a little bit, we're continuing to get more news about Churnwalker. We saw another lore video, I think the 3rd one. So there's lots of videos and content coming out about Churnwalker, and we haven't even seen him in action yet. What do you think of Churnwalker so far? I know I continue to talk about this on every week, but love hearing everyone's opinion on it.
Churnwalker's very interesting. The trailers got him really hyped out at the last live championships, so I think a lot of people are waiting to see what he's going to be able to do, what his kit is going to be. And also the lore that Sugar Venom is making is absolutely awesome. If you haven't read it, it's the best lore so far, I think, with the Celestan Vox lore.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
You don't even have to read them. There's videos too. So
but there's the part you got to read. It's a lot more in depth when you read the lore. The videos help out and it's very, very nice. Read it, really.
Okay. Do you have any thoughts on his kid, or what role he's going to be? I know we'll probably see all of this in the next week here. I guarantee it. But
being part of the PvE team, I cannot give any information.
Okay.
About that. Sorry, but it's good.
Oh, it's good. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Okay, so we should be seeing more info on him in the next week or so. I have a feeling the patch is probably about a week and a half to 2.5 weeks. It usually comes out with Vainglory 8. The patch will drop and they'll play 1 more week on the last patch, and then they have that time down to learn the new patch and get ready for that. So yeah. We're getting close.
We've got many things coming in, new heroes, skins, and items.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to check that out.
the 2 new items here. Well, you're in the PvE, so you probably have can't really say much on this, but seeing 2 new items, we got a tease for a second one this week. We mentioned the ring last week, and then this week it looks like another mage item, because last time we had 2 weapon items come out.
We got a spell sword and what was it? What was the other item? I've forgotten.
Yeah, I forgot too now. But this is getting looks like 2 mage items, because they're both blue items. So, we had the healing flask. That was the last one. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. So not really a weapon item, but these both look like crystal items. They're both jewelry ones, so I feel like they are enhancements or power-ups in some level. But like I said, I don't know, but yeah, you know more info than I do right now.
Yeah, but they're also getting a lot of, like, we got 4 new items with this patch, and the last patch that just came in. So I think they're getting more items in for the 5v5 preparation. Not sure, just assuming that's the case.
Yeah, like we need a lot more items for the game, for 5v5, and the game to be more complex. I post a lot of videos on YouTube about just playing different heroes, and my builds are all over the place because the build paths are boring in Vainglory. There's like you build the same 3 or 4 items on every hero, whether it's weapon or crystal, and that's it. So it's really fun. I like playing other items, just adding them on there, seeing if they work. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But I think having this like just goodie bag of things to choose from, that like, oh, you have a more situational items, like that's just more fun.
Yeah, having some exotic builds will be really interesting, and something I'm going to see much more in the future.
That's cool, yeah. So yeah, these will probably be the only 2 items, and then maybe we'll get 2 more in the next update, and just continuing to add to it. So we got new hero, 2 new items coming, and then we got some info on a couple more skins this past week. One of those was the Scarecrow Baptiste, which this one I'm really excited for. This looks awesome.
Yeah. It is really good. I was hoping to see it as a special edition skin because Halloween's just around the corner.
Right.
And I was thinking maybe to go with the Celeste and the Petal skin, but no, it's going to be an epic skin then. So.
Yeah, I thought we might see more of a skeleton, like Nightmare Before Christmas kind of skin, but the Scarecrow one's pretty neat.
Yeah, I did like guess the skin before it came out because I was thinking like maybe Halloween they could do something, but I thought the ultimate was going to be some crows, and I thought it would work out well. We've got pumpkins anyway.
I saw someone on Twitter or Facebook talking about how Vainglory is basically building the Wizard of Oz now. We've got the lion in glaive, we got the Scarecrow, so now we need the Tin Man to come out, if that's going to be Saw or Baron.
We're gonna have to check that out. Oh, I didn't think about that.
And we already have Fortress is already Toto, so we got that going. And then we got info on this new set of skins for Lyra. These are the Moon Lyra skins, and they are 3 different skins coming with this update to celebrate the Autumn Festival. And these are way better than the scarf skins we got last year. I'm just saying that the models are different. The colors, although they're slightly just like recolored, they have little tweaks to them that make each one of them unique. Where scarf skin was just, adjusting the chroma a little bit on it.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be another special edition skin like Scarf when I saw the trailer. It didn't end up being one, but I still enjoyed the skin and the idea of it being like a triple set.
Yeah,
works out well.
And this really makes when you're going through the skins, it just looks like there's a lot of skins when they do things like this, because you're like, oh my gosh, Lyra got 3 skins this update. So that's kind of crazy. We will probably see more info about a couple other skins this week. There's usually 4 skins in every update, so keep an eye out for that. They should be coming. And then the last bit of news is a bit of sad news here. T-Dog, who did the Alternating Current podcast, he was also a streamer, he is gone. He has left the scene. He removed all of his social media accounts, his SoundCloud account, so you can't even listen to old episodes of the Alternating Current, and he's had a lot of guests on. So that's, I guess, really disappointing that he removed the SoundCloud along with all of his social. Just like that archive of interviews is now completely gone.
I do think it's a shame he deleted all his content, because it was really useful content, helped out to know the people of the community, and it just generally helped the people understand Vainglory and who was building it and who was part of the community. And it's a shame he deleted everything, but well, with bad news always comes good news. So he is leaving the scene. It's sad, but I hope that new and creative people will join back in the Vainglory scene and do awesome content like he did.
Right, yeah, it leaves a spot that hopefully someone can step up and fill, because I've been doing this podcast now for 175 episodes. The time for rolling. Bleeko can't really record her episodes, so the esports guys, they do episodes, twice a week, talking about the esports scene, so there's really room for someone to step in and do another podcast, or like T-Dog was doing, he was doing a lot of streaming before he disappeared too, so it's sad to see. But,
yeah. Oh, got new people coming in anyway.
So hopefully, new people come in and step up and fill that role. Cool. But yeah, if I had a beer, if it wasn't so early, I'd pour one out for T-Dog. Be missed. Cool. Well, that's all the news I have this week. We went through that really quick. But before we get out of here, a little forum static.
Forum static.
On Reddit, I came across this post, and it was an image of an account where someone was like 95 or 90% games played on Saw. I have to say it's probably a little bit of a joke, or it's probably a Smurf account that they just want to try to level up and only play Saw so they can kind of prove that Saw is viable. But it created some fun discussion on Reddit here, and I was thinking about like small hero pools. And I think a lot of players do have very small hero pools because it's hard to master everyone. Do you play a lot of different heroes, or do you kind of stick with the same 5 or so?
I'm a main role. Being an analyst, I'm very axed on meta and like counter picks, like comfort picks. So I do have a very large hero pool. In support, I play jungle too. Okay. And I think large hero pool is something that will make you much better to the game. Playing one hero can be really good in it, but once you get higher in the tiers, it will get more and more difficult. Your hero can be banned, can be countered very easily. There's also a person in Europe called Lancelot who only plays duel. He's like maybe skill tier 10 silver.
Okay.
And just small hero pools can work out for some time, but you have to get on point with those draft phase, because otherwise you won't be able to get to the top level you could be.
Mm-hmm. And there's always in each update there's tweaks to heroes and balancing changes, and that hero that the Jewel maybe you're good with, but then she gets nerfed just so bad that she's just unviable, and then you're losing every game because you're playing this one.
What
hero.
do I do?
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's one of the main problems when you've got a small hero pool. Like, if you get buffed, you're like, hell yeah. Uh-huh. When it gets nerfed, you're like, oh, might stop the game for a little while. So you must try and like diversify your playstyle.
Yeah, I'll often get asked on videos like, who do I main? And yeah, I play like everyone because I'm posting content, making videos that you just kind of want to play different people. I think the game is a lot more fun when you play different stuff and do different builds, because like I was saying earlier, the builds get boring. And if you're just playing Jewel every game and building the same 6 items, man, how much fun are you having? You might be winning, but how much fun are you having?
Yeah, it's always the same. And like when you play MOBAs, the key point of playing a MOBA is that every game must feel different by playing a different hero, building different, going to a different role. So if you get a hero pool and build is like very, very small, your lifespan in the game of you like enjoying it will be very short, and you can't enjoy the game to its fullest.
Mm-hmm. So you're usually playing roam. Do you have like one that's like your favorite roamer?
I have 3 as Lance, Lyra, and Grace.
Okay.
They're my top 3. If I have to choose one, I would go on Lance, because it's such a good hero. Can go full carry, weapon, and just burst down the enemy team. And he's got so much CC. Playing against Cruel is like awesome. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I was better with Lance. I know the impales, people say they aren't hard to land. I can't land them, but I can get hit by everyone. If I'm playing against the Lance, I am really good at getting hit by it. But landing
that's a good skill.
Oh yeah, but landing them, I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. Just can't do it all the time. But yeah, Lance is probably one of those heroes that are just fun to play. And like Catherine, you just run over people at some point. Like you can just like carry the team.
Yeah, whereas Lance, early game and mid game, you can really have that good advantage. You can gank lane it so easy. You just impale, get Zhithian wall, and if you got a good other good gank hero like Glaive, it's just early game is for you. It's easy win.
So yeah, think about upping your hero pool if you're looking to climb or just have some more fun in the game. I know when you first start playing, heroes are expensive. That's always an issue whenever you start playing a MOBA, that you just don't have a lot of heroes because it seems like you will never have enough in-game currency for it. But keep going and start buying those heroes when you can.
Yeah, and play Flicker.
Please
Flicker.
Yeah. I don't know.
Flicker
about
is
that.
my favorite hero, but he's one of my favorite heroes, but people don't play him. But he's so good if you know how to land his abilities. It's so good, really.
You're playing him right now in this meta? I don't know. I haven't seen a Flicker.
I don't. That's the problem. That's why he's not my top 3 favorite. But I love the hero and his mechanisms.
Yeah.
He's not played, and it's sad.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see a little bit of a tweak to him here in this next coming update. Like
give him some love.
Yeah, he needs something. What do you think they can do with him? Like, do they just need or shorten the cooldown or the delay of the route? I think that's probably the easiest one.
I think his fairy dust, so his A should be a little bit bigger. Like when it lands, it is very effective, but it is hard to land.
Yeah.
So I think maybe a little bigger would help out.
Yeah, because he's one of those heroes that could quickly be too strong because of his invisibility. It's a tricky hero to balance, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's gonna do it for episode 175. Max, man, thanks for joining me. This was great.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm happy to talk about Vainglory.
Yeah, where can people find you, follow online? Like, what's the best place?
Twitter, Discord, YouTube, Twitch. That's the 4 main things I'm on.
Cool.
So, yeah. Always MaxMan30.
MaxMan30. I'll include links in the show notes and the description. Everyone go over there and follow. Stream schedule is always changing, right? Just because.
Yes.
And then the tournaments, you have one tonight. So, yeah, tell me about that again before we get out of here, the tournament.
So it's organized by a French organization called PCS. So it's Conqueror's Cup, the name of the tournament. And it's community made with some eyes coming down from SEMC and just trying to get people involved in the French community. That's the most important, because Vainglory is, like, tell me if I'm wrong, is a very big game in NA. A very famous. A lot of people play it on mobile. I mean, in the mobile scene.
Yeah, I think.
But in France, it's not that famous, and that's sad. So we need many more active people trying to publicitize the game, showing it everywhere on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and we don't have that many people, and that's pretty sad.
Is that this game particular, or a lot of people just not playing mobile games in France?
Yeah, mobile games mostly. So I'm trying to promote it. Like, I am in a programming school because, like, in the future I'm trying to maybe work as a dev with SEMC.
Cool.
So I'm doing programming school. And in my school I say, oh, I'm playing a mobile game. They like mobile games. Oh, no, don't play mobile games. Play League of Legends or something like that. They're completely closed to new opportunities of good games on mobile, and they just don't play it. They might play Candy Crush and that's it. And it's a shame because you have many possibilities, and the proof is you got like Fnatic, TSM, Cloud9, many big esport organizations who got into the game because there is a future for Vainglory in esport to be one of the biggest esport games on mobile.
Yeah, that's cool that you're trying to promote it there. I love that attitude, so that's great. Hopefully we'll see more French players then jumping on the game.
Yeah, we're doing a meetup soon in Paris, so if you're here between October and November, don't hesitate to pop in.
Oh, nice. Okay. I'll make sure I'll keep an eye out for that tweet and make sure I retweet it and let people know. Yeah, so many Halcyon gatherings and meetups happening. Like, it's nuts right now, so that's cool to see. I think that's getting all the players out, and just like once you meet someone else that plays the game, you feel better about yourself playing it. Because you could be locked in your house or in your room and just playing this game and not talking to anybody. But when you go out to one of these gatherings and meet somebody, you're like, hey, there's other people that play.
I
This
know
is
you.
great.
And yeah, it helps out a lot. Like, for an example, you had Sean Ostino coming up on the podcast a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And Sean Ostino now streaming for the VG8. That's awesome. He's a friend of mine, Sean Ostino, and he casts perfectly. He's awesome. And because he like lives near where all the meetups happen, I think meeting up the people just really helps out. And that's a good opportunities for the people who go and meet up and talk with everyone from the community. So don't hesitate, really. It's awesome.
Nice, yeah. Well, cool. All right, we'll get out of here. I'll let you get to this casting, but you can follow Shatter The Vain on Twitter at Shatter The Vain, website shatterthevain.com. All the episodes are posted there, links to iTunes, Stitcher, the YouTube version as well. And I'll be back next week, hopefully with some more info on this next update, 2.9. Yeah, take care.
Yeah, Tiana Halcyon Fold.
Let's get this over with.